This is Becs reporting from the Wigtown Book Festival with Jenny Colgan. So, first of all, to what extent do your books draw on your friends' lives and love affairs? And do they ever recognise themselves? And if so, do they mind?
The trick I've found is if you do want to use somebody's personality quirks, make sure you make the character very, very good looking and handsome, and then they don't really care what you write about them after that.
That's good. Critics can also be quite sneering about the so-called chick lit writers, and does that annoy you?
I mean, it's just another genre like any other, really. There's crime fiction and women's fiction and supernatural fiction, so you just kind of get on with it. I mean, every so often they kind of call upon the death of chicklet in the bigger papers, but hasn't quite happened so far, so fingers crossed.
Yes. And did you read a lot as a teenager, and which books inspired you?
Yeah, I've never met another writer that wasn't a reader first and a bookworm first. I mean, I think writing's just as close as you can get to reading books all day, which they don't pay you for, alas. So I would think as an inspiration, it's hard to see really, just the whole breadth of it. Although I think there was something about, I started reading Ada Blyton like most people of my generation did. Oh, there you go. And there's how prolific she was and how many books she wrote, and the fact that it was clearly a job for her, I think, was obvious even at that age. So she was very inspirational, I think.
And would you like to try your hand at any other types of writing, like thrillers or detective novels, for example?
I'm constantly working on TV scripts and movies, and like most people that do that, they tend to get commissioned and then not necessarily made, but one of these days that would be nice.
And you're going to write something for Doctor Who?
Everybody needs, I think everybody needs a goal in life.
Yes, I know, no, I'm a major Doctor Who fan, as is Kate. Is it difficult to juggle the life of a writer and bringing up 3 small children?
Actually, a writer's life is ideal to mix with having children, because you choose your own hours, you can work from home, you can do it in bits and bobs when they're asleep or when they're up. So no, actually it's worked out very well.
And has your experience as a stand-up comedian helped you in your writing, for example, in comic timing?
My experiences as a stand-up only remind me that I need to keep writing books so that I don't ever have to go back and do stand-up ever again.
So has that helped you with overcoming bad news and criticism?
I think it's very hard to get frightened after doing stand-up comedy. It pretty much steals your nerve, really. If you are worried or feel nervous about speaking in public, you should try some stand-up, because after that, everything else is pretty much a breeze. So I don't think necessarily it's a bad exercise.
And finally, what do you think schools should do more to encourage people to read?
That's an excellent question. I mean, things like the literacy are quite helpful, and actually reading in schools it's doing quite well. There's Twilight is out there, Harry Potter, there's been a lot of fantastic writers over the last few years, like Philip Pullman, that have really, really pushed writing for teens, and I think teen writing now is much better. For us, we had the choice of children's books or Agatha Christie or Jane Eyre, really, and now there's a huge wealth of things out there for girls and boys. So I actually think it's in fairly good health.
Thank you very much. It has been a pleasure talking to you.